Over the course of the past 20 years, Augusta National, the golf club in Augusta, Georgia, has been gobbling up every property they can get their hands on that is surrounding their world-famous golf course. As of the last report, through these efforts, Augusta has dropped over $200 million, picking up just one small piece of property at a time. Now, you might not be a big golfer. I'm not much of a golfer myself, but there is a reason why Augusta is so set on acquiring so much land in this exact region. It's because the Augusta National Golf Club is actually where the Masters is hosted, and the Masters is considered the world's most premier and popular golf tournament in the world. It kind of makes sense why this outfit would want to acquire more land around their existing golf course. This just gives them more room to grow their business as the tournament grows and gets more popular over the years. What's crazy though is that the homes and properties in this area aren't actually all that expensive. They're around the $200,000 or $300,000 range on average for a single family house. But if you happen to be the lucky owner of a property that's super close to the Augusta National Golf Club, then you're basically sitting on a gold mine, because this group has been approaching homeowners and paying over 5 times what homes are worth just so they can grow the golf course. Naturally, when all of these random homeowners are getting offers for their houses for $1 million or more, when their houses are really only worth around $300,000, at this point, almost everybody who lives around Augusta National has sold their property to Augusta and moved on with their life with their new fortune. But there's one family who stayed put, and that is the Thacker family, who, despite several offers for over $1 million, have refused to sell their Georgia home. The couple behind this somewhat famous house are named Herman and Elizabeth Thacker. They've lived here since they built the home in the 1950s, and there's a reason why they have such an emotional attachment to this house. Not only are the Thackers the original owners, but they have raised 2 kids, 5 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren here. Sadly, Mr. Thacker passed away in 2019, but according to several reports, one of his comments to the many offers received for their home was simply just that money ain't everything. And hey, I can't say I disagree with that. Obviously, we don't know what the inside looks like, but the specs on this home are that it has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, about 1,900 square feet of space, and it's sitting on over a ½ acre of land. And you can see from this shot the proximity of the Thacker's house to the Augusta National Golf Course is right in the exact region where Augusta has been trying to expand. Speaking of Augusta, they've bought hundreds of properties in this area, covering a total of 270 acres over the past 20 years. 126 of these homes were single-family residences, including 20 on Wicklow Drive, 5 on Wicklow Court, 16 on Margate Drive, 15 on Ashland Drive, 11 homes on West Terrace Court, and another 12 on West Terrace Drive. Crazy to think that these guys are literally clearing out neighborhoods with their outlandish offers. The funniest part too is that no matter how hard you dig, it's not even 100% clear what Augusta plans to do with all of this property. Some speculate that they're buying this land so they can add another 9 holes to the golf course. Others speculate they're looking to put in a big television and media compound. And then others think that they could be making way for an upscale hotel, more parking, things like that. Regardless of what Augusta plans to do with all this land, this has made for a great opportunity for anybody who lives in their path. Going back to the Thacker home, the home that literally money can't buy, Mr. and Mrs. Thacker have stayed put and stayed firm on their decision to not sell for 2 decades as they watched all of their neighbors sell, move out, and then those houses get torn down. Augusta has made a lot of these homeowners instant millionaires, which is awesome, but what's even more awesome is that Mr. and Mrs. Thacker actually were also able to get in on all of this action just a few years back. The Thackers happen to own a house right across the street from their primary residence, and they made the decision to sell that one to Augusta for $1.2 million. Now that means that they have to live right next to a parking lot, but they got to make over $1 million and keep their family home, so they kind of got the best of both worlds. The purchases that Augusta has made over the past 20 years has doubled the size size of the property that they originally started with. And by the looks of things, they're not slowing down their purchases anytime soon. Along with all those residential homes that Augusta bought, the local Wendy's, which is sitting on a 1-acre lot, was sold to them for $3.45 million. They bought the nearby 14-acre Publix complex, and they picked up the 38-acre Steinmart-anchored Washington Square. These last two deals set them back a total of $41 million. From what I read, there's only a few properties left on the south side of Washington that Augusta does not own at this point. There's the Walgreens store here at Berkman's in Washington, and then the Olive Garden, which is right next door to that Wendy's that we just talked about. Something tells me that before long, they'll be buying up the Walgreens and the Olive Garden as well. Possibly the coolest part of this whole story is it turns out that the Thacker family staying put and living basically on the Masters golf course inspired one of their grandchildren to get into golfing at a really young age. That grandchild's name is Scott Brown. He's now a successful professional golfer who plays on the PGA Tour. He's actually been a pro since 2006. In case you were wondering, Scott does have an opinion on all of this happening with his grandmother's house. He commented on a Twitter thread that featured this story that we're talking about today, and he said that if he has anything to do with it, the house will remain forever. The few interviews that I was able to find said that every once in a while, somebody from the Augusta Club comes by Mrs. Thacker's home and reminds her that they are still interested in buying, but she keeps giving them the same line, and something tells me that if she hasn't sold her home sweet home yet, she probably never will. I'll see you guys next time.